will hear a practical approach to leadership success. The workshop explains how you can nurture your personal leadership abilities, gain valuable transferable skills. Please join me in a warm welcome for our facilitator, distinguished Toastmaster, Roman Smolak, from an impossible to the inevitable, achieving leadership success.
Welcome, success seekers. Success seekers, look at all these enthusiastic faces. Incredible. On a Saturday morning, your day off. You're here to learn how to become a better leader. Are you here with a lot of energy this morning? Yes. Are you here to change how you do things in the world?
Yes.
And are you here to become a better leader?
Yes.
Do you want leadership success?
Yes.
Are you ready to embrace change?
Yes.
I'm married to somebody. Great, you've got a lot of energy. And this is what we want to talk about today, is how can we introduce more success into our life and to make our leadership that much more powerful. And I'm going to start with a story. I learned to embrace success in my life 5 years ago at a workshop at a district conference just like this one. I was sitting in the audience just like you were, and I was watching an exceptional facilitator. And he drew us in, and he made us feel comfortable within minutes. Does everybody feel comfortable?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, did I pay you to yell yes? Yes. Said yes. The facilitator made us feel comfortable, and he drew us in. And at one point, he asked the question, has anybody got a problem at work, an issue that you would like to share with the group? And so one of the participants shot up her hand, and she looked a little bit despondent. She had something that was really burning inside her. And she said, yeah, there's an issue then, and she told us her challenge. Then he looked around and he said, is there someone who can answer or support or give some kind of solution for this person? And I looked around the room and I noticed my arm was up. I was like, who kidnapped Roman? It turns out that I knew exactly what she was talking about, and that from Toastmasters I had learned that if you create an agenda before a meeting, you can really take control of that meeting. Like, you can control what people are doing in that meeting, where they're going. You can move them off yapping, the topic and get them back on track. So I shared this, and I could see her starting to nod and crack a smile. And I realized that I was at an intersection in my life. An intersection. I had realized that I wanted to help people. I felt good about helping this person. I realized that I had information, knowledge, and strength that I could share with others. But most of all, I wanted to be that facilitator. So what happens in 5 years? When I left, I made a decision to change. It became conscious. It was an aha moment. I said to myself, I'm going to get my DTM. How many people have that wish? I want to get my DTM. Great. That's half the room. The other half already have their DTM. Yes?
Yes.
She's falling asleep already. No? Okay. I wanted to get that DTM. So I said I wanted to practice facilitation skills as often as possible. So I joined 2 clubs and I started to do workshops. Marina, who was in my Phoenix club, she might attest to the fact that we were doing all kinds of crazy workshops at the end of the meetings. And the third thing was, I wanted to do a workshop at a conference. So where are we today? This is my 4th District 60 conference workshop. And so I know there's some people here who have seen my other workshops and are back to see more. I've got my DTM, and I'm here now to pump you up. So that's what we're here for today, is we're here to understand how do we take it from the impossible. When we're standing and thinking, I want to do this, but it's impossible. Or I understand that downstairs there was the word failure produced. So I don't like to use that word, but if that's, pardon?
Neither do I.
Good. So let's not use that word, but let's say it's part of the impossible. How do you take it to the inevitable? Right? And I had that intersection moment, and I'm sure you're going to have that intersection moment today with whatever that you're grappling with. Or let's say it's leadership for this. Okay, so we're ready to rumble?
Yes.
Excellent. Oh boy, I got to get another word than yes. Are you ready to embrace change?
Yes.
Embrace
Change.
it's better than yes. Embrace change. So if you take out your slips, the papers, and we'll use this as an agenda just so you can see what we're gonna do today. The first thing we're gonna do is try to consider what are the key characteristics of leadership. So you can take a stock of where you are and your cohorts and what you might want to, what's your gap and where you want to go. In the back, you'll see a little bit of a map, and it's going to help us understand how leaders build group cohesion, harmony. And if you can understand how to do that today, it will help you in running a group in fact in your clubs or out in the real world, in your professions, in your work, or even in the family. So this model is going to be something that will help us see how do we build harmony and cohesion in groups. And the third thing we're going to look at today is the fact that we are surrounded by resources. You are not alone. Leaders leading do not do it alone. They have other people around them. Toastmasters has a wealth of information that you can tap into to learn. But most important is you have latent strengths inside you. You have all the capabilities you need to be an awesome leader inside you already. It's a matter of getting aware of them, practice, and eventually you will inspire other success seekers to engage change. So that's what we're going to cover off today. I believe leadership is something you can learn. Just like we improve our communication skills to be better, we can learn leadership skills. Does that make sense? We all improve in our communication. Otherwise, we're probably at home watching YouTubes this morning. So our communications get better. And I believe that we can learn to improve our leadership skills. A question. Is leadership important? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did I hear no? Because everybody's been saying yes so far this morning. Absolutely yes. So would you like to play a word association game?
Yes.
Ross, what are you doing? Everybody just keeps parroting yes. You ask him a question where the no is the answer?
No.
So I'm going to show you a picture of a historical figure, somebody popular from our social or entertainment industry, and I want you to shout out one word that would describe what vision or dream or value, the highest value, they represent. Does everybody understand? First one. Carlos, can you write some of these responses down?
Perseverance.
Okay. A higher value?
Tenacity.
Tenacity, perseverance,
Integrity.
integrity,
Determination.
determination. What did Churchill, his primary objective during the Second War, what was it? To?
To win.
To win a war. To establish freedom. Right? Get free of totalitarian. Hitler was just about to overtake the entire world. So freedom. Is that fair? That's one of the highest values that that person represents. Abraham Lincoln. Gettysburg Address.
Brevity.
Brevity. Well, I'm sure he spoke for hours as well. So this speech is 272 words. It was brevity. But I can imagine Mr. Lincoln could go on for hours as well. Equality. Thank you. I heard that.
Sacrifice.
Thank you. Yeah. JFK. What did he stand for?
Challenge.
Yes. He challenged a nation. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Inspiration.
Thank you. My speech or? The answer is yes. Martin Luther King.
Equality.
Equality
Freedom.
and freedom. Empowerment. How about the word empowerment?
Or justice.
For everybody.
Justice. Excellent. I think you guys are getting this game. Mother Teresa.
Humility.
Passion for
Charity.
charity. Charity.
Humanity.
And humanity, recognizing dignity and humanity. Excellent. I don't know how Carlos is doing over there. Warren Buffett. Does anybody not know who this person is?
Money.
No, it's, you can I'm sure there's somebody here that doesn't know who Warren Buffett is. Like success.
Charity.
Money.
Did you say charity? Okay.
Change.
Greed would be a better word, right? No, yeah, profit-oriented capitalist. So maybe the richest man, maybe the second richest man right now, somewhere between 40 and 60 billion dollars.
Industrious.
And you won't believe it, but we're eating, drinking, and using his insurance. You won't even know. He's got fingers in so many companies. Okay? You got something on profit?
Visionary.
Oprah. Oh, sorry, Steve Jobs.
Inspiration.
Innovation. And Oprah? This one's a little harder.
Dynamism.
Dynamism.
Stardom.
Leader.
Well, she is a star, but what does that mean? What does that do?
Connection.
She's inspiring. She's trying to inspire people, right? And she brings guests onto her show for self-development, the kind of stuff we're doing here. Right? I should sit and watch Oprah more.
You grow your hair like that.
Yeah, this is beautiful hair. I got this picture. I can't believe I got this picture. Somebody with no hair or less hair. This is tough too. What's his highest value? What's the highest value of Toastmasters?
Leadership.
Yeah, leadership, communication, even higher.
Training.
Training.
Vision.
Training for what? What are we training to become? Leaders to become self-improvement. He believed that
Growth.
through self-improvement, we can make the world a better place. That's what leadership is about. This is a leader. 300,000 people belonging to an organization, and nobody's paying us? Does that make us bigger than most of the corporate, even bigger than Warren Buffett's companies? Yes?
Yeah.
So these words that you have offered are principles and the highest values that we can hold. And not one person can hold all of them. They're universal values, and they are abstract in a sense. So if I said go out and be freedom, equality, challenge, it doesn't really mean anything. Let's think about what those values are in our life. Where do these principles appear in our everyday life? Who can suggest perseverance? How do we display the value of perseverance in what we do in a daily action? Go ahead.
As parents.
The parents, like nurturing, parent, just put parent. Exactly. You have to persevere sometimes. Somebody, Derek, you said you can't get a DTN because you're still putting a child through university.
Well, for most of us these days, it'd be caring for parents that are living longer.
And then caring for other, caring is going to be a good one that comes up. Like, so perseverance is sticking to even when you can't or you don't want to, right? What do we got? Tenacity. How do we show tenacity in a Toastmaster club?
Always helping others.
Yeah.
No
Stick
matter
to
what
it.
yourself is always helping others to be a better person.
Stick to it. Even if you are discouraged, you can help another person who might be in a lower, or a person who needs help. Freedom. How does that appear in our life? We vote, yes. We are free. We're a democratic country. Yeah. So we're free. We have self-expression, right? Churchill got us, not just Churchill, but we have a free world where we can express ourselves. Democratic rights. What do we got next? Equality.
Table topic.
Somebody.
Freedom of expression.
Oh, freedom of expression table topic. That's clever. You can get up to say anything you want, even if it's not true. Equality?
Dual parenting.
Yes. What we're all hearing these days is how do we raise our better halves? How do we raise the women's status in their society? That would be the equality fight of our last 50 years. It's taking a long time. But it's starting to happen, which is great. Great answer. What do we got? Sacrifice? Challenge? Okay. Every day. What are we doing at Toastmasters to encourage other people?
You get voluntold.
That's the challenge, yeah. That gets some inertia going, right? When somebody's thinking impossible, a voluntold, how it gets them into the improbable, and then they're standing there going, maybe I can do it. Excellent. Was there another answer?
Encouragement.
Yes, we encourage our fellows through mentoring and coaching. So you're starting to get the sense that all these incredible abstract principles are things that we actually do in some aspect in our day-to-day interactions with other people. To make our children's lives better, to help our elderly parents in times of need, to volunteer in organizations. That's what leadership is about. We do leadership every moment of our day. We're just not aware that we're doing it. If you got that, then basically that's the workshop. No, we got more stuff. We do. So isn't Toastmasters a place where leaders are made? Raise your hand if you're a leader. Excellent. So if Toastmasters is an organization of leadership, what is the heart of a Toastmasters meeting? What's the secret sauce in our Toastmasters meeting that makes it as powerful as it is?
Growth.
Yes, self-improvement and growth, so people can always look forward.
Neutral environment, effective feedback.
Feedback. Thank you. Evaluations is the crux of our self-improvement, of getting better. And there's three things that happen when we are evaluating. Can anybody offer one or two? One.
We're listening.
We're listening. By listening, an active listening, we are able to reflect back the evaluation. Right? When you give that evaluation effectively, you're leading. You're leading that other person. It's just the two of you, but you're leading. Excellent. Another one?
Encouragement.
Encouragement. Okay, let's keep that in the evaluation.
We're searching.
Researching.
We're searching. We're searching for the good and the bad
Excellent.
and things to improve and things to
So
complement
we
them.
want to find the strengths of the speaker. What strengths do they have? And when the evaluator shares their observation of that strength, everybody in the room benefits. Everybody saw it and can see what they have that I could use, and it becomes my gap. Right? So we also identify gaps. Not only in the speaker, but now we're identifying the gaps in us. And there's a third thing, and that's the club. Has anybody been to a meetup? A meetup. Has anybody been to a meetup, that same meetup, for more than 3 or 4 times? Yeah, it's successful? The ones yes, it's like this. I've been to meetups where you go once and you go, this is not for me. Why are we coming back to Toastmasters? Because it has vision, it is a group of people. We play with the same rules, we know what the rule book is, and we can give balanced and fair evaluations that help the person, encourage the person to rise. Right? We discourage, we say no to negativity. So again, if you can avoid using the word failure, it's impossible to the inevitable. You want to raise the person to a higher. I Googled leadership on Amazon. 160,000 books will show up. 160,000. There's gurus, experts of leadership that you will never be able to fathom. And what I'm going to try to do in 30 seconds is come up with 3. And I tell you, I didn't read 160,000 books. So the one thing that we can see when we look at the list of our heroes and some of the things we do in our daily life and what we do in a Toastmaster club, we align with a purpose. We align to the Toastmaster purpose. And purpose becomes an incredible driver. People can help each other when they're evaluating their leadership skills. Are you on purpose? How do we get the leader back on track if they're off track? The second thing that I've come up with that we do in Toastmasters, it aligns with the great leaders, the principles of our society, is we can inspire people to do action with communication. And I heard Ross speak a couple of weeks ago, and he said the 2 most important things we do in Toastmasters, we all know what they are, so I'm not going to repeat them. But the third thing is we build confidence when we learn and become aware of the communication and leadership skills we have. Confidence is one of the end games. And once we have that confidence, we've hit the intersection and we're ready to move on and share our knowledge, our experience, our excitement, our value to the benefit of someone else. And the third thing, does anybody want to offer a third one? I'll give you a hint. Did Steve Jobs invent the iPad, the iPhone, the iTouch alone? Yes. He's a master at organizing teams, organizing people to become a team. And that's what we're going to look at now. We're going to look at a model that describes team harmony. How do you build team cohesion so that we can help people stay on that track? And how do we nudge them towards the vision, the purpose that the group has decided is really crucial for achieving? Tuckman, in 1965, came up with this model. And he essentially said there's 4 stages. And the 4 stages follow a time horizon. Okay? And the idea is that cohesion rises over time as a small group of people start to come together. So this curve just really simply states something goes up, then the whole cohesion thing goes down, then it starts to go up again, and then it just kind of goes somewhere up into the sky and plateaus. Is that okay? Is that clear? You gotta say yes.
Yes.
I see a lot of nodding of heads, but if yeah, okay. When a group of people come together, like a meetup, for example, or even coming into this room this morning, what did you experience? What did you feel inside? What
Excitement.
happens? How would you describe that group? Excitement?
Expectations.
Expectations? Anybody nervous? Yeah? When I touched you at the front of the door, were you nervous? surprised that somebody was there to greet you. Okay? So this group, Tuckman called forming. And it's when the group comes together and they start to explore what is the purpose of this group. So there's excitement. People have anticipation. They have ideas. They're tossing them out. They're talking to each other. If you're starting a new club, chartering a new club, you've got 20 people who are still not even sure what the entire purpose of the Toastmaster world is. So there's some anxiety also. And do I fit into this club? Do I fit into this group?
Well, plus you were the only person outside welcoming you in. You know, I could have gone to any of the workshops.
Right.
I thought this was valuable, but
Yeah. So you felt relaxed and encouraged, enthusiastic because somebody was there who was welcoming you into the group. So it's true. I was trying to establish a little bit of lessening of the anxiety, so you would feel comfortable to sit at the front of the room, to move to the front, to be with me on this journey that we're on together. So that's really important in a facilitation of a workshop where you're meeting new people you've never met before. The next stage, so some of the activities you can do at this stage is visioning exercises. So a leader could also sit down and do a planning and a goals setting staging exercise. The next stage is where the cohesion starts to go down. People are naturally competitive. Is that about right? Sums it up. So what happens in a group, small group, when competition sets in? Conflict. People are rubbing. They have different interests. They're starting to say, no, this is what we're going to do. No, this isn't. Anybody else? I saw a hand in the back. Conflict. Opting out. Sorry, this is not where I wanted to go with the group. So I'm going to opt out. So Tuckman named this storming. And you might lose members, or the group may be forced to stay together because you're in business, you're being paid. But they're storming now. They're, if I could use the word backstabbing, or backsliding, or back talking, and compromising essentially the good of the group. So the cohesion goes down. And when you ask someone to help you on something, what do? They run from the shadow. I call it shadows. People living in the shadows. Now, eventually, the group starts to see that cooperation starts to be more effective. Oh, let's talk about what can happen here. So a leader can do team building exercises to try to remedy this. They can resolve conflict, and what we talked about earlier, give feedback. In the third stage, when we start to cooperate, we start to develop norms. The group coalesces, right? They're starting to cooperate, and they start to see the vision, and they buy into the vision, and they're growing together. They're still being managed, they're being told what to do, right? But they're moving at least in the same direction. And the exercises that a leader can do here is motivating people, trying to find out what their interest is, and motivate them, and align it with the interests of the group, and coaching team members to be better. Now, we are reaching the apex. People are collaborating. Who can describe what this next group would look like? What kind of buzz is in the room? Yeah, guess what? It's going to rhyme. It's going to performing. These people are performing now. And what does the leader do in a performing? Stand back. Right? They were the authority in the storming and the norming phase, but the leader now has a group that understands vision, understands the goals, understands the objectives, and is now running on its own. The authority can delegate the authority and know what's going to happen. And that's sort of the nirvana that, if you look at the latest gurus, Pink in the book Drive talks about mastery, autonomy, purpose. Zappos, Google, all these companies that they trot out as examples of successful companies with successful leadership are all in this performing stage. Does that make sense? You'll see, and you'll see a lot of gurus talk about how to take a group from storming to performing. I think we'll all agree that, if you work for a company that's doing performing, I'd like to hear about it. But I think we'll all agree performing is a very difficult place to be, even in our Toastmaster world.
It's a difficult place to stay.
You can, okay, so that's a good question. Can you slide back if you hit performing? How? How does that happen? A conflict appears. Someone can, so someone leaves the group. Let's say there was an inspirational leader, leaves the group becomes rudderless in a sense, and goes back to storming.
You have new people joining the group.
Exactly. Like in our Toastmasters Club, a guest comes in. They're starting in that forming stage, but we are ignoring them because we're having fun with all our friends, performing, and they're going, hey, how do I get this goodness? And we kind of ignore them, and they leave because they didn't get accepted or don't understand. So one of the, why we introduce the guests, why we ask them to introduce themselves, why we introduce ourselves to them, because we want to raise them into the norming phase as quickly as possible so that there isn't that storming. They want this, what we have. They want this goodness. They want what Ross says, confidence in communication and leadership skills. Skills a leader has to have in order to take the group from norming to performing. Qualities of a leader, maybe just shout them out. What does a leader have to keep that communication, patience, vision, approach. Approach, yes. What? No, we're not going there. She said listening, active listening. Approachable, listening.
Problem solving.
Problem solving.
Openness.
Open. Yeah, open is so important. If you establish as a leader, as being somebody in the, you can go, I go half once in a while, storming and a half. Let's say you're norming, or maybe in the norming, you're a leader in norming. Are you open? Right? If you're just in the storming and a half, between storming and norming, and you're pushing, you're managing the people, you're a great manager, you're pushing people to do stuff all the time, are you going to be open to suggestions? No, the door's closed. There's no communication. You're not listening. Empathy. Right?
Direction.
Being vision and direction.
Purposeful.
Purpose. Which? Coaching? Coaching, right? Knowing what motivates a person and being able to help them coach. Am I coaching today? Okay. Coaching you to think of something else? All right, this front row, the yes people. Thank you. Gesundheit.
Confidence.
There we go. Why not? Sorry, Ross, you didn't say it fast enough. Right, so we got all these wonderful attributes of a leader. Now we'd like to, you wrote those down on your list? I'd like you to pick 2 or 3 and then write them in the next column. So take a look at the list, take a look at what you've written down, put them into your personal, 2 or 3 that you think are important in your life. What would advance your professional life? All right, everybody got 2 or 3? Even ones that aren't up here, maybe something you can think about, the quality that you would like to develop within leadership. Now I'd like you to choose one. Circle just one, the most important attribute of leadership that you would like to grow. Let's say grow today, starting today. You're at the intersection today. And now rank that attribute on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is it's missing completely, it's absent, I don't know what it is. 2 is low, 3 is average, 4 is you have some of that attribute, but you want to grow it. And 5 is you are a performing leader. Okay, everybody got a number? You got your favorite. Now we're going to do an exercise. Okay, before we do the exercise, one more thing I want you to think about is, what can you do today? When you leave this room today, what can you do that takes a step in nurturing that leadership quality? So it could be at lunch and picking up the breadbasket and just being the nice person and passing it to everyone. But at least you know in your mind you're doing something that's pushing you towards that activity. Okay, so think about your activity. What is it that's going to take you consciously, and you're aware that you're going to move that forward? All right, everybody got that? Now you ready to do your exercise with your partners? What we're going to do is partner up, just 2 people. Find a partner. If you're sitting in a row of 3, you're going to have to find another 3. You're going to have to get up and move. We're going to share the quality. We're going to talk about the benefits of that quality, what step that we plan to do, and the partner asks questions and supports. Does everybody understand? And you have 60 seconds starting now. Go. Find your partner quick. Perfect. Time for discussion. I'll give the mic for the first soul who is willing to share their exercise. Who's at the intersection ready to share with the group? So you're going to tell us what your activity is, or sorry, what your quality, your activity. Go ahead.
Really don't need the mic. Leadership. One thing about being a leader is confidence. I know there's some people here that know my name. I know there's 2 ladies that know me pretty well. Confidence. My confidence in myself is 0. I don't think that I can do it. And that's impossible to have. Right now I'm a manager of a small company. I'm safe. I'm not much conflict. I was the first one in here sitting in this room. I did that on purpose. Right now, when you guys are all sitting down, I would tell myself not to have a stroke. My arm is shaking. That's because you don't believe in yourself. Well, you can't have that. I'm married, I work, I'm a father, I'm a parent. You gotta have confidence no matter what you do. Now, confidence comes in different levels. Toastmasters, your job, your relationships, your community. Leadership is looking in the mirror and saying you can do it. Now, I'm not going to be Bill Gates, I'm not going to be Warren Buffett. But there was one leader there that I was raised with, Martin Luther King. In your community, can you lead? In your family, can you lead? In your work, can I lead? In Toastmasters, I will lead.
So can you tell us what your first step can be? Do you want to share that?
My first step was doing that. And this lady over here helped me.
Okay.
I don't think I can get my DTM.
Why not? It's something small. Something small
Something
today that
small?
you're going to do.
I belong to Ebony's Toastmasters.
Today.
Today I belong. I switched to the club. I was in another one. I went to Ebony. I found what I was looking for in life. That club, one word, is energy.
Perfect.
I have been asked to become a member of the executive. We've had some change. We've had some things. For whatever reason, one thing I believe is helping other people. And hopefully in the new year, if there's any vacancies, I will step up to the plate. Because people need support from all directions, and with that, you get your leadership in small little steps
Okay.
or bigger.
That's perfect. So taking the executive role, you're now telling all of us that you're going to take that step. And that will build confidence. I mean, it's going to be a rough ride. I mean, anyone who's been on the executive knows that there are challenges. And the challenges get you into that storming phase, and you're going to have to work together as a team. If you don't deal with that problem, with the challenge, it festers. And so you're going to have a huge challenge. You'll learn wonderful things. You'll be with other people. This is the point of the third point we're going to do today. And we said, I promise. We are not alone. Derek, you're not alone. Right? That's what a team is about. That's what the club is about. It's about giving you resources and helping you discover the confidence, discover the innate capacities. Smedley called it latent strengths. Right? The things that we don't know arise because we're interacting with other people and we're learning what it is that we can do. We have a strength that we didn't know we had. Just standing up and watching you speak today indicates the strength that you have inside. And whatever fear is holding you back, the impossible, if you have the dream of the inevitable, that's the thing you want to look at. You don't want to look at the stupid word failure. I don't believe in that word. I don't think it should ever be said in a public forum. Because we're about the inevitable. We're success seekers. Success seekers embrace change. And failure, or the idea of an impossibility, prevents change. That grip of fear prevents change. We stay in the comfortable zone of fear, of doing things the way we've always done them. But the dream you have of being on the executive and helping your club move forward, the team building, getting into the performing phase, that takes you into leadership inevitability. Does that make sense? So these wonderful things, all these things that we talked about, actions that leaders do in clubs are, does anybody recognize these 10? They're part of the Leadership Excellence Series. They're workshop modules. They're all things that you can do in your club, and you have to do if you're getting the Advanced Leadership Bronze. You have to do 2 of these. And that improves the club. You can do all 10. That'll improve you. Make you better. That's the Leadership Excellence Series. So we have the resources in Toastmasters. The stuff that we were talking about is already printed. It's just a matter of doing them. Take advantage of the opportunities that exist to stand up in front of others, to do a workshop, to share your strengths, your vision with other people. Okay. This is the end, so I'd like to hear what one thing will you take away from this workshop? What one thing will you take away today that you heard? Go ahead.
Change starts with my decision.
Excellent. Just like what Derek was talking about. It starts to look in the mirror and say change starts here, now. Somebody over here? Go ahead. Michelle.
I like your quote, Roman, success seekers embrace challenges.
Embrace change.
Change or challenges?
You change. We embrace.
How about changing challenges?
Well, you can embrace challenges. That's even a better. Right? We want to embrace change, and that means challenging ourselves to get to the inevitable. Yes.
In my development question, I figured out that I should just ask for help.
Ask. Right? The resources are there. Okay. Ask.
Be confident.
Confidence. They focus on the inevitable. Success seekers are people who embrace change. They see the inevitable. They describe the inevitable.
You realize that we're already leaders?
We're already leaders. Yeah. Like, wow.
Evaluating. I think when I was listening to Derek, I thought he was incredible. He had a great voice, and so when you're listening to others, it's like you are listening to yourself. You see the potential that people have.
Didn't you feel like he's confident? Like he's got a booming voice. He's standing on the ground. No one's going to push him over.
Yes.
He's a leader, right? And he's going to practice. Toastmasters is a laboratory. No one is going to say you're fired, right? We got 300,000 employees. Nobody's getting fired, right? So you can practice all these things. You can even, I think this is what you were saying. It's like, yeah, I can go and be myself, grow these skills in a Toastmaster environment where it's safe and you're able to do. So in summary, it's purpose, we line our purpose, we organize others, we give evaluation. You've got a beautiful map now to help you, right? The context, understanding the context of the challenge and an issue, where does it fall in the map and what do you do in response? And you're not alone. I'll leave you with this last quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path will lead. Go instead where there is no path. And leave a trail. Leave a trail. Thank you, Derek. This applause is for Derek. And remember, Toastmasters is not just the place where leaders are made. It's where success seekers, people like you, become great leaders. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Rowan, on behalf of the district, I'd like to present you with a small token of appreciation. Thank you for this workshop. Everybody give a round of applause.